16 Days of Activism is a period of heightened advocacy within civil society, which lends itself as an opportunity to draw attention to escalating cases of gender-based violence as highlighted. During this period, stakeholders demand for action against human rights abuse and the protection of victims. The 2016 National Demographic Health Survey shows that 28% of women experience physical abuse, 7% sexual abuse, 62.6% child marriage, and 25.3% women with female genital mutilation. The European Union Delegation to Nigeria has continued to lend its voice and influence towards addressing gender-based violence, especially violence against women and girls. For 2019, the EU, through its rule of law and anti-corruption and managing conflict in Nigeria programs, hosted events to mark the 2019 16 Days of Activism. On the 25th of November 2019.
So we're starting out with a breakfast here at the EU residence with a number of important people, a couple of first ladies from Nigeria, from Niger State and Ekiti State, both very, very active in promotion of women's rights. And also the Nobel Prize Peace winner, Madame Bowie, who is here also to give a keynote address later in the morning.
Next, it supported the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons in its implementation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law by launching the National Sexual Offenders Register, a repository of the identities of those reported or convicted for sexual offenses.
The name and shame policy that is attached to this register is going to deter a lot of people from committing this offense. Those that are convicted, their full particulars will be on the register. Those that were arrested or even charged will also have a place in the register. I promise you that NACTIP will implement this register without fear or favor. Absolutely.
I think this national register for sexual offenders will make a real difference. This is about preventing violence against women, girls, and also boys on some occasions.
Next, the EU hosted the Sexual Assault Referral Center, or SARCS, network conference between the 4th and 6th of December 2019. SARCs are service providers where survivors of sexual violence can access medical, psychosocial, and legal services to help them overcome the trauma of sexual violence. Through the Her Story, Our Story campaign, citizens and indeed the public were offered a platform to ensure their voices are heard. But it also amplified the plight of victims of sexual abuse and its prevalence in our society. Through short videos and jingles and through social media engagement and using celebrities as mouthpiece, Her Story, Our Story demanded for more protection for women and girls, men and boys, and indeed vulnerable groups. 16 Days of Activism closed with the commemoration of the International Human Rights Day on the 10th of December 2019. At a panel event held at the EU Courtyard in Abuja, more stakeholders discussed other forms of human rights abuse, of which gender-based violence was one. The issue of police brutality and the stifling of the media were at the forefront of the discussion. But celebrities who lent their voice to the Her Story, Our Story campaign made commitments to support the advocacy beyond the 16 days and ensure that SARCs continue to receive attention. This campaign was an opportunity for institutional support and advocacy towards ensuring a safer environment for Nigerians. By amplifying the VAP Act, launching the Sex Offenders Register, the setup and management of SARCs, and the various issues of human rights abuse, Nigerians are demonstrating that they can own their challenges and find solutions therein. Government now needs to rise to the challenge of ensuring that enabling laws are implemented and that our spaces are safer and more habitable, especially for vulnerable groups. This can be achieved if reports are acted upon, cases investigated, and perpetrators are prosecuted and punished while keeping records of both accused and convicted abusers.